What is going on, guys? Renegade Ninja here, and today I'm going to bring you a negative commentary because I am annoyed and I'm sick of this stigma that gamers get, and I'm really actually just quite tired of it in general. I can understand when gaming was just starting, but now it just seems a little bit ridiculous, and I've actually personally had to deal with it recently. I mean, it's always been there, but just because of the personal issues recently, it actually just is super irritating to me. And that's the stigma that, gamers still, even today, get this stigma that because you play games, you must be, an acne-infested, skinny, fat nerd in your mommy's basement who's doing nothing and is 35. That's what it's just like this stigma that gamers get in general. Like when I'm dating people, and I don't really date at the moment, but I used to date a lot, and I date when I feel like it because your boy stay fresh, Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, no, but really, I just don't feel like dating at the moment. I'm busy with a lot of work stuff, and if you guys don't know, I have multiple businesses and stuff, so I've been busy with that stuff. But anyway, talking to like a girl, and if they ask you like, oh, what do you like to do for fun? Like you almost don't want to say that you like to game because they're like, oh, that's cool. It's like almost like you get this stigma, and if you're talking to especially anybody in the older crowd, which not saying super old, but yeah, anywhere pretty much like, especially like 40 and up anymore, you'll get this stigma of if you like to play games at all, or if they find out you play games at all, then it's like, oh, what a loser, what a child. Back in my day, we had to work really hard. It's like you can hold 2 full-time jobs, and they'd be like, but if you play a video game, then, oh, back in my day, we didn't have time for those video games. We actually were hard-working, not little crybabies or whatever. And it's just like, it's like, only because you play games. Now, I can understand if that's all you do, and you spend like 6 hours a night in the video games on your mom's basement. If you're living up to that stigma, then you get what you get because you are that person. But like people like me, I keep a full-time job at work at a hospital. I have a college degree that I went 6.5 years for. On top of that, I run multiple businesses that I started myself. I didn't have a silver spoon, and I didn't have an inheritance. Like I've created what I've created by myself, and I've done a lot, and I keep going. But God forbid I enjoy playing video games as a hobby. It's like disrespectful. And I'm going to go ahead and compare it, and I'm going to give... This is the most irritating thing to me about it. It's not the fact that people are like, oh, God, you're in front of a TV screen, because that's not the case. Because every other thing that you do in front of the TV screen is completely okay. Like, people who love sports, and I'm going to pick on sports for a minute because that's like the most irritating thing for me right now, but it's really anything. It's any kind of stupid smut TV shows or whatever, but sports is one of the most irritating things to me because, especially with dating and stuff, and if you guys are guys, you'll know. Now, girls, it's not so much because if a guy, if a girl games, it's hot, but especially with guys, if you like football and you talk to a girl, she says, what do you like for fun? Oh, I love to watch football. It's like manly, it's masculine, it's, oh yeah, he likes football, yeah, you're football, that's right, or basketball or whatever. It's like manly. But the fact of the matter is 9 times out of 10. Now, some of these people do play, and that's fine. That's more respectable at least. But 9 times out of 10, most of these people don't play, or they played in high school back in the day, like 5 years ago, and they're just like reliving their glory days barely. And they sit around all day watching these sports, this football or this basketball, and what does it benefit you? Like, how is it manly or anything like that? Like, when I play video games, my mind is challenged. I'm thinking of different things, and it's not just puzzle gameplays. Like this game, I'm thinking, okay, well, this one's contested. Let me go to this one. My buddy's here. I got to watch his back. I got to watch this guy's back. What about this other guy? Who's coming down from the top? I'm always thinking. My mind is always engaged. On top of that, I've got my hand-eye coordination is constantly being used and improved, and my reflexes are constantly being used and improved. Video gaming in general is actually beneficial to an extent. I mean, everything has a degree. I mean, if you sit all day in your mom's basement, it's not quite so good, but to a degree, video games are actually a good thing. Matter of fact, you guys don't know this about me. I used to cage fight, and when I was reading books about it, because I was learning, I was like self-taught back in the day before it was super popular, and everybody knew Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I self-taught myself, and in one of the books, one of the coaches actually used to make his fighters play like, I don't know, I would say a half hour to an hour of Call of Duty before or after they would actually spar, and because it would increase their reflexes and their hand-eye coordination. Like, it's actually kind of funny that, like, video games, like, were actually used in fighting, and yet somebody who watches football as oh, yeah, I could talk about Jamal Johnson, who ran for 16 touchdowns the one day, and yeah, cool, like, that's cool. I'm glad you idolize those people that are athletes, but nine times out of 10, you got a beer in your hand, eating some potato chips, getting fatter and fatter, while you talk about how awesome sports is. Which, if that's your hobby, fine, whatever. But everybody else around you, they're like, oh yeah, he knows a lot about sports. That makes him tough and stuff. It just doesn't. That makes no sense to me. And it's not just sports. I mean, it's really anything. And really, with the exception of documentaries, that's the only thing or anything that challenges your mind to think differently. That could be different because you're actually using your brain. But like older people, they'll sit there and say, "Oh, you play video games?" I saw this one meme on Facebook. This was another thing that triggered this whole rant. I saw this meme on Facebook and it says, "Oh, wanted, can't find children who want to work in the snow. Last seen when the Xbox came out." And I'm like, yeah, because the Xbox came out, that's why children are lazy. You know, a lot of people are lazy nowadays because they're entitled because their parents just give them everything. And that makes people entitled. It's not video games' fault. Before video games were out, it was TV or radio or whatever. And I was like, you sound stupid. And these same people who were going to blame video games for people being lazy and say, oh, everybody's just lazy, they don't want to work, that's a problem. These are the same people that will go, like, log off of Facebook and go watch 2 hours of Dr. Phil, followed by Dateline NBC, followed by, it's like, you sit in front of a TV screen, it's a TV screen. I mean, a TV screen is a TV screen, whether you're playing a game, or you're watching a TV show, or you're watching sports, or you're watching a movie. At least with video games, I'm interacting. I'm challenging my mind a little bit. I'm challenging my reflexes. Even if it's a slow game, it's still useful in some way. Video games, I would argue, in every day of the week are better than sitting around watching a nonsensical TV shows. The only exception would be like a documentary or something that would actually like help you learn something, which is 9 times out of 10 not what people watch. So that's like not the norm. But yeah, and especially, but sports is like my main pet peeve because people are cool because they watch. You know, a lot of guys will sit around and go to work and they'll be like, oh yeah, did you see that game last night with this guy through the, oh yeah, and they're so cool because they watch sports. But God forbid if you're at work and you mention, oh hey, did you play that one game? You're automatically like a child. Like you're a child who's like, oh my God, what a loser. What a loser. He's like, you know, it's just these people have this stigma, and you would think by now, like how long games have been out and how the gaming generation is getting older and older. A lot of people who play online games are actually in their 20s now, which didn't used to be the case, obviously, because people are getting older. And the funny thing is gaming would actually help fight Alzheimer's because anything that stimulates your mind helps fight Alzheimer's. It's helpful for older people to like drink coffee because it's a stimulant, and then do crossword puzzles and challenge your mind. When you just sit and become dormant is when Alzheimer's becomes more active, and that's actually proven in medicine. And so if older people actually played video games, it would actually help fight off Alzheimer's. But there's such a stigma against them. They're such for losers and children, and they can't ever respect that. And yeah, it's irritating to me, and I know I kind of ranted more than I really said anything super productive, but it's really just an irritation because there's nothing you can really do about it because non-gamers just feel that way. If somebody games, then they understand. They're like, oh yeah, it's sweet, it's awesome, it's fun, we have a good time. And you can argue the social aspect of it, like, oh, well, at least people who watch football, they're talking about it at work with their buddies and stuff. Dude, I play video games, I always play with my friends. Like, my friends are always playing with me when I play. Or we're talking about it, or hanging out about it, or doing some sort of social interaction. So, it's just irritating, like, to me, and it helps my family stay closer, because a couple of my family and friends kind of game together. It's cheap. I mean, I save so much money by not going out and partying on the weekends. You know, I stay home and hang out and play games and have a good time and actually spend time with family. So if you guys enjoy, make sure you leave a like down below. Share the video if you believe that this is true or whatever. And subscribe if you're new. It really helps. I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching my little rant here, and I'm going to troll some of these guys on the chat, just having some fun in Titanfall. So peace, guys. Have a good one.